Hello, how is everyone doing? It is your fallen angel back with another video. Today, we are going over how to read an astrology chart. We will go over all the main aspects, the nodes, the voids, the sextiles, and things of that nature. So, let us start. Remember, the interpretations for each aspect, each house placement, and a sign a planet is in is taken alone. You must take the placements of the other planets, signs, and house positions into consideration, along with the shape of the chart, and blend in everything. So, all these aspects must be taken together, right? We can't just look at, okay, maybe potentially Aries is in Saturn, or Aries is in the moon right now. We have to look at every other aspect as well. So, feel free to check out our other videos on astrology. We explain houses, we explain quadruplicities, we explain a lot of other aspects as well. When certain placements and aspects confirm each other in that there are other supporting aspects that emphasize the same personality traits or like life circumstances, then an accurate prediction can be made with interpreting the chart. Most charts have supporting placements and aspects emphasizing certain traits or events in specific areas of the life. So we can always use these charts to predict certain things. Now, if we go back to the aspects video that I put up, we explain how certain degrees are either crucial, beneficial, or detrimental. Like maybe 15 degrees in Virgo or Leo, these can be detrimental. So it's essential we understand what the degrees do. And we also have to take into consideration the placements as well. Important points. Planets within 5 degrees or less of an angle, ascendant, descendant, midheaven, or IC, or in the angular houses, 1st, 4th, 7th, or 10th house, are more powerful in their influence. This also includes aspects. Planets in the cadent houses, 3rd, 6th, 9th, 12th, are weaker. Planets in their ruling signs are stronger. Intercepted signs and planets are weaker. Planets in their exalted signs are stronger. In signs of their detriment or fall, they are weaker. Jupiter, aspecting a planet, strengthens and amplifies its placement and traits. Saturn and Neptune weaken it. The chart ruler is the most important planet. The most important factor in the astrology chart is the chart ruler and co-rulers, if any. The planets ruling the ascending signs, and planets, if any, in the first house, co-rulers. There can be more than one ascending sign in the case of an intercepted sign in the first house. The planets that rule the intercepted sign are co-rulers. In a natal chart, the ruler represents owner of the chart. With predictive charts, the ruler of the chart represents the person, entity for which the chart is cast. What sign is the ruling planet in? Unless there is a stellium or more than 2 planets in another sign, the personality will be influenced most by the sign the ruler is in. If there is more than one ruler, this will add another aspect to the personality, and the reader must blend the two. With 3 or more chart rulers, the individual is complex, with different aspects of the personality and reactions at different times. If the signs are very different from each other, Aries and Pisces, the individual can be outgoing, and on the same, be introverted at some other times. So, we always explain how what's going on in the sky, well, what's going on in the cosmos when the stars are out, this is a screenshot of what's going on, right? This can be read as the natal chart. So it's always important to understand that the stars aligned are a major aspect to how humans interact and how things are done and how everything is interconnected and how astrology is very, very important. The sign of the ruler is more important than the sun or moon sign. So it's always important to know the sign of the ruler. In what house is the ruler posited? Whatever affairs are ruled by this house, they will assume importance in life. For example, the chart ruler in the 12th will give psychic ability, the need for solitude, and a shy disposition, unless other factors, such as planets in Aries and other outgoing signs, contradict this. What degree is the ruler's conjunct? If the ruler's is placed on a degree of significance, such as conjunct a fixed star or a critical or noted degree, this will affect the life for better or for worse. Is the ruler intercepted or retrograde? If the ruler is intercepted or retrograde, the later half of the life will be better than the early years. A retrograde ruler and indicates a so-called late bloomer, especially if more than 2 planets are retrograde. Many planets, even if rulers is direct when retrograde, indicate the above as well. Where are the tightest aspects? The tighter the aspect, the more pronounced its influence is in the personality and the events in the life. Tight aspects, especially if exact, set off events when contacted by other planets through transits or progressions. Look to the house placements for the type of event and the natures of the planets involved. Is the ruler or other personal planets conjunct any fixed stars or moon's nodes? Planets that are conjunct fixed stars will be influenced by the nature of the fixed star. The south node is of faith, for better or for worse. The north node is often indicates special abilities or talents. Always look to the signs and house placements. Stelliums. A stellium is a grouping of 3 or more planets in a certain sign, all connected by conjunction. In a natal chart, the sign will be dominant in the personality, and if the entire stellium is within one house, the affairs of that house will be emphasized in the life. When the stellium is transited by the other planets, major life events will occur as to the nature of the transitioning planets and the stellium. The areas of life represented by the house that contains the stellium will assume importance in the person's life. Tight aspects. Aspects that have an orb or 2 of degrees or less intensify the influence of the aspect. Exact aspects, especially if more than 2 planets tie in, are indicative of a life event that is fated. The moon's nodes. Planets conjunct the moon's nodes are of special importance. The moon's nodes are of fate. Planets conjunct the north node are often benefited, but not always. The south node is strongly of faith, and when conjunct a planet, especially if tight, there is a fated for the affairs ruled by the house with the sign ruled by the planet. What houses are the moon's nodes in? Do the moon's nodes line up with any other degrees in the chart? Again, this is fated, especially if they line up with 2 or more planets, angles, or the degrees of certain house cusps. The year a fated event takes place can be seen in one's solar return. Planetary configurations. T-squares, grand trines, yodes, and stelliums all factor into correctly interpreting a chart. Overemphasis or a lack of an element, quality, or aspect along with unaspected planets, if any, are also very important for chart interpretation. Hemisphere emphasis. The majority of the planets on the eastern half, the directions, are backwards on an astrology chart, or midheaven to IC. This person is usually free to make their own way in life, and they dislike any interference from others. They are independent self-starters who rely upon themselves. With the majority on the western half, IC to MC, there is a strong need for others. Others have a say regarding one's life, and in extreme cases, others can control the person's life. In rare cases, there can be dependence on others for survival, as in cases of physical handicaps. Hemisphere emphasis. With the majority in the northern bottom half of the chart, the ascendant through the descendant. Personal privacy is important here. This person needs time alone, along with a sense of security. Hemisphere emphasis. People who have the majority of their planets in the south top half of the chart are usually outgoing people who are social. These people don't mind being the center of attention or before the public. Most are extroverted and enjoy leadership roles. Planets on significant degrees have a strong influence in the chart, and the affairs they rule and/or the affairs of the houses ruled by the signs they rule will be influenced for better or for worse according to the nature of the degree. This also includes house cusps on noted degrees. For example, Mars placed on a bad degree is bad for the affairs ruled by the house with Aries on the cusp, and can be unfortunate for the house Mars is posited in. Fortunate degrees should be noted to find where one's efforts will pay off and where natural gifts, talents, and abilities are. Placement of aspects to Saturn. Saturn is where we get our ass kicked in life. Aspects from Saturn to other planets and the house and sign Saturn is in reveal, where we will experience problems, limitations, losses, and denials in life. We understand that Saturn is one of the darker of the planets. Important and sensitive points. The vertex and anti-vertex. These are important points of fate, like the moon's nodes. Often loved ones, or others, for good or ill, will have an important planet conjunct the vertex or anti-vertex. At first beginning of a relationship, many times the other person's progressed planets will co-join this point. The east point and west point. When a planet is conjunct one of these points, its influence is emphasized in the chart, and the affairs ruled by the house with the sign on the cusp ruled by the planet assume more importance in the life. The prenatal eclipse. This is much like the vertexes and moon nodes in the way of fated relationships and events in the life. Planetary midpoints. Planetary midpoints are important when there is a planet co-joining them or coming into conjunction by transit or progression. So guys, this was just a video going over how to read an astrology chart. Feel free to like and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below. Check us out on Patreon, Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, things of that nature. This has been your Fallen Angel, and I am out.